You know, she proves herself. I think she does deserve to be there.
Absolutely, she does it right.
Do you like puzzles, Mr. Wolff? Ray King has been murdered. I need your help to finish the job he started.
Hola mis amigos, soy Melissa Ramiz y hoy me encuentro con una de las protagonistas de la película The Accountant. ¿Cómo estás, Cynthia?
Muy bien, gracias.
Bienvenido a Miami. ¿La has pasado un poquito bien o todavía no has disfrutado mucho?
You know, this is my third time here, believe it or not. So I decided I'm going to take it easy, but I did manage to get to the beach, so I was very happy for that.
Very important to make it out there. Now, you're back this 9 years later. Did you ever think there was going to be an accountant too?
I had a sneaking suspicion and I was hopeful, but you never want to assume anything. You know, there's always the intention, and that was always the intention to sort of, you know, continue this story. There was definitely more story to tell. It just took a little bit longer than we thought. So, you know, almost 9 years later, here we are. So I'm very happy for that. But when I got the call, I was ready. I was excited to see what the story was going to be because I wasn't quite sure what it would be. And in the story, we're also taking the same time jump. So 8 years have passed in the movie, 8 years have passed in real life, and I think we've come up with a pretty good story for this sequel.
And you came back as a boss. Now, how is that? Like coming back and being the boss in the film?
I mean, what's really interesting is she's the boss, but underneath that sort of powerful position, there's also a little bit of imposter syndrome and that feeling of, did I really, you know, earn my way here, or am I kind of like the new Ray King, J.K. Simmons' character? Because, you know, she has this sort of advantage the same way that he did. And, you know, she's trying to use it to make sure she puts the bad guys away. So in that sense, she's still doing what she always set out to do. It's just that, like, you always know in your heart that, maybe... you know, could I have gotten here on my own? And I think that's her dilemma. But, you know, she proves herself. I think she does deserve to be there.
Absolutely. She does it right.
Yes.
Now, this cast, there was a lot of funny one-liners. The movie was very entertaining. We had a great time watching. Now, offset. Is there any little anecdote that you can tell me about something that occurred behind the scenes?
You know, to be honest, it's always interesting because I think when you see characters, you know, kind of with a banter, a lot of times it's very much about actors being quite focused. So, you know, we're kind of trying to preserve it for the screen and sort of maintaining our focus. But you know, this was my first opportunity to get to work with Ben and Jon because I didn't actually film with them in the first film. Right. And I barely met them in the first film. Right. You know, we were quite separated. So I was very excited in coming back once I read the script. I thought, oh, I'm like kind of partnered with these guys.
Who are you?
I am MaryBeth Medina, Deputy Director, Financial Crimes Enforcement.
Fed. You suffer a stroke.
You're upset.
We're working together, so whatever profession you're in, I currently have zero interest.
They're hilarious, you know, as brothers, they have incredible chemistry. And it was interesting to see the way in which they worked differently because Jon's a bit more of an improviser. He's just throwing lines out there. He's saying crazy things. You're trying to kind of react. And Ben, you know, I think also was sort of playing off of, you know, his brother and that energy. So I'm just kind of like in the middle. It's kind of like a tennis match, just watching these two brothers, you know, kind of have at it.
That makes it fun on set. You never know what to expect, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And now I have to say, on your Instagram, you put travel often, I believe, is something. Is that a thing that you enjoy doing, traveling?
I do very much so. I think for me, you know, having the opportunity in a way that I didn't when I was growing up, you know, I was definitely one of those kids where we didn't really get to go many places, and I always was sort of very dreamy about, you know, the larger world. And so for me, travel is always a way to sort of absorb cultures, understand people, feel better about people. And it's a reset for me because, you know, I spend my days portraying other people and playing characters, and then I kind of have to sort of return to myself. So once a project is over, when I can, I try to take a trip and just sort of like, you know, get myself back to Cynthia.
And before we go, which is your favorite, besides Miami, obviously? What's your favorite other place you've been to?
I have so many favorite places. I got to go to Tokyo in the beginning of the year, and then I loved it. My husband and I are obsessed. But I also, one of my favorite cities in the world, because a friend of mine is traveling and I was giving him recommendations, I love Mexico City. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. Incredible culture and art and people and food. And an incredible fan base, because I've been there both, you know, just for travel, but also for work. And I just love that, you know, it just has such a beautiful energy to it. So I hope to get back there very soon.
Amazing. Well, Cynthia, thank you so much. Un placer.
Thank you.
Does that make you nervous?
You're an escaped convict, trained by mob accountants. Your clients are drug cartels, money launderers.
Is that a yes?
Do you like puzzles?
Yeah.